Good morning. Thank you all for coming. There's been a lot of information in reference to the shooting incident that we had in Riverside on Tuesday night, the 27th. We want to expand on that and actually give you guys some other information in like the 911 call. This microphone's falling down.
There you go.
Thank you. Like I said, we're going to expand on the information that's been given out to the public and to the media outlets, and we're going to go through that with a PowerPoint and show you, give you some more information in regard to the 911 call, information in response to or in regard to the suspect, and we're going to go through that now. So obviously that incident happened on the 27th, was a Tuesday night in Riverside. It was dispatched to 2555 Rondell Avenue on a report of a burglary in progress. On arrival, Sergeant James Vance was approached by the resident for 2555 Rondell, who advised that the suspect was in her home. Sergeant Vance was then first fired upon by the suspect and exchanged gunfire with that suspect. Sergeant Vance was not struck by the suspect, who fled north on Pleasant Valley. The suspect was located in the rear of 237 North Pleasant Valley after officers searching for him heard a single gunshot coming from the area. 911 call, Sergeant Vance was dispatched at 2225. He arrived on the scene 43 seconds later. As you can hear on the audio, once he got out of the vehicle, he was speaking to the complainant, and the gunfire erupted at that point. And you hear that? We're actually going to give you the video of that as well.
It's a body cam.
This is a body cam video for Sergeant Vance.
One kid, shots fired! Shots fired! Who got me? One kid, he's running on the side of the house. Go towards Bushnell. Where's he at?
He knows me. He said my name and everything.
Where's he at?
He ran this way. He went this way.
Josh.
Please go get
What's
him.
it on fine? Who is he?
He went, I don't know.
Who is he, Josh?
I don't know. He just said my name.
Okay.
He had a mask on. He keeps saying, Josh,
Okay.
you know what the this is? I said, bro, what did I
Is this his
do?
truck?
No, he was in his truck. He tried to hop in and duck from you guys.
Okay, as you can see, once Sergeant Vance exited the vehicle, almost immediately he's talking to the female. Shots fired. Suspect ran north on Pleasant Valley towards Bushnell. There were no other gunfire after that for about 3 or 4 minutes. You didn't hear anything. At that point, other officers are responding to the area from all different locations and including different departments. So now we're going to give you the video of when the officers are on the scene, and we'll see how that when they find the suspect.
115 was last seen in the backyard of 237 Prince Albert. I'm sorry, 237 Pleasant Valley. 237 Pleasant Valley. Whoa, whoa! You got a shot fired. Back here. Back in this house here. We got a shot fired behind 237 Pleasant Valley. Shot fired by 237 Pleasant Valley. Single shot, you think of suicide? Go, go! Alright. Good, wait, so we got a dog here? We got a dog here. He's around the corner. Probably behind this fence here. That's why the last scene was behind here. He was going real slow. What do we got? I'll come around this way since that fence closed off. Yeah, we're good. We just had a shot right behind here. Single shot, not sure. It's going to be a home invasion, possible home invasion. Yeah, it was a male suspect. Just heard a shot back here. He's going to be back here, maybe even over the fence.
White, black male?
It's supposed to be black male.
Let's get to that front door, get that girl, make sure she's good.
All right. I'll cover the backyard if you guys want to get to her.
Make contact. All right, we're making contact with the resident right now.
Let's clear this. All right, that's good.
Okay.
Stay here.
Okay. Let's make contact with the resident.
You got the window?
Make sure everyone there is good, and then we'll close it down. Open the front door. Side door.
This is where the shot came from, guys.
How do you take that? Hey, Doug, stay back. Now back.
Down.
Get out.
On the ground.
Down. All right, Nate.
Down.
Bring it down. Hey, watch your sides. All right.
Watch your sides.
All right. Stay in. Stay in.
I got right. You got suspects?
Give us a minute down here, Riverside. What's right hand? Right hand. Right hand. Still breathing. Hey, I got it. Everybody stop. Everybody stop.
We're clear back here, guys. Backyard's clear.
Hey, somebody get mad. Hey, go back here and get a bed bag out the back. I got an emergency bed bag.
Riverside 115, we've got him behind the 237 Pleasant Valley.
Okay. So as you hear that, like I said before, Officer Stephen Freddie from Riverside PD was out there with the other officers, obviously set up a perimeter. You hear that single gunshot, then they stack up and go to the residence to make sure someone's okay there, and then they go into the backyard, obviously trying to secure that. And the suspect, he was already down, as you can see on the video. They obviously immediately call for a medic, and matter of fact, I think they were actually calling out even before, as they were walking up, they were even calling for one. So once he was secured, I mean, the scene was secure at that point, and we made notification to BCI to come down and handle this investigation due to the fact there's an officer-involved shooting. Any questions?
Okay, is this a picture of the man that then we believe took his own life?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll go through this. I was wanting to know if you only had any questions about the videos at all. Any questions about the videos?
Is there a chance we could see those again after the conference?
We can, yes, obviously. Yes, this is our suspect is Kevlin Wallace. He's 39 from Springfield. He has a record, as you can see. He was convicted in 2000 of aggravated robbery and kidnapping. He was released in October 2020, which basically 10 months ago, he's released from prison. And then we think he may be connected to some other crimes that happened actually in Springfield. I know that that's still under investigation. We'll see how that pans out. He obviously was transported to Miami Valley with a gunshot wound to his head. And the initial report from the coroner's office is that it was a single shot, and he died from a self-inflicted wound. Actually, were 2 firearms recovered on the scene near his body.
So I'll start there, Chief, and we'll work our way backwards.
Sure.
You saw the officers, he still had one in his right hand, obviously, that if he's right-handed, you might think that was the one he used to take his own life. Was the other one on his body or just next to him, or
I think it was next to him.
both handguns?
Yes, we believe that handgun was taken from the residence there in Rondoa.
Okay. One of the two.
One of the two.
Was taken from the residence
Yes.
on Rondoa. So, your preliminary autopsy report you got yesterday, when they told you it looked like he died from a self-inflicted gunshot, obviously some of your officers already felt that same way too.
Certainly.
Does it appear that any of the shots from Sergeant Vance hit him or no?
No, not that we were not advised that anything other wound. He only had one gunshot to his head.
And then,
Am I correct on that?
at this point, can you tell how many times he fired at Sergeant Vance?
We think 2, but it's unsure because there's a volley in there. There's a difference in the sound of the weapons because he had a .380 and took I think a 9 from the house, I believe is what it is. But of course, obviously, Officer Vance's gun's a .45, so you can hear the distinctive difference in the way the audio of that.
Chief, any idea on how this individual arrived to the city of Riverside?
Not sure. Still under investigation.
I'll ask you, you said that he's suspected some crime in Springfield. There was a home invasion and a person tied up in Springfield and his vehicle taken. Do you believe Mr. Wallace was involved in that?
That's speculation, but I think that it's under investigation to see whether that actually took place or not.
The initial caller, Chief, stated she didn't know who this individual was. Has it been found that someone in the house may have known this individual?
I mean, it's possible, but it's still under investigation at this point.
Was that the man yelling, "He knew me, he knew me"? Is that a resident?
That was the guy who was in the house who was tied up.
Okay, he said he knew me.
Right, the lady who was talking, that's the boyfriend that she's talking about entering inside the residence.
And she said there were 3 people in the house. Her boyfriend, and she said her baby was tied up. How many other people?
It was her daughter and her father.
Was there in fact a baby, or just she's
I'm not
referring to the child?
She's just
9 years old. A girl.
right. Yeah, it's a 9-year-old.
So, and then her father, which would have been like a grandpa of
Right.
the child. Were all 3 of them tied up, or was he just holding a gun to their heads, or what have you determined was kind of going on inside that house?
I don't think she was tied up. I don't believe. Was she? I think it was just him.
Just the boyfriend.
Just yes.
And then obviously keep it. So how did the woman get out of the house and make the call? Do we know that,
She
or was
wasn't there. She was coming home from work.
She was coming home from work.
So she was not in the house
No.
when Mr. Wallace came in?
Right.
Okay, all right. Had they somehow communicated to her, or she just figured it out by looking in as she walked up on the porch, or?
Right, that's my understanding. Yes, and she observed it, and then obviously ran out and made the phone call.
And all 3 of them got out of the house. Once police got there, police checked on all of them. They're not hurt.
No, no one's injured from the house. I mean, once the suspect, Mr. Wallace, came out of the house and the shots were fired, at that point he leaves the scene, running down the road to get away, and so they were fine.
What are the boyfriend and grandpa able to tell you about how he came into the house in the first place?
I believe it was just he knocked on the door,
PCI information, probably not getting
and yeah, I'd rather not get all into the details of that, but I know he knocked on the door, and obviously they let him in, or he got his way in.
The boyfriend said he was wearing a mask. Did you find the mask still on him when you found him?
Once again, it's still an investigation, so I mean, I'll have to defer to BCI.
How many officers ended up responding to this?
That's a good question.
15 to 20.
Yeah, I would say 15 or 20 officers came out.
Was there ever a code 99 drop?
It was. So it was an all-call dropped at that point, and then obviously, as you know, we all come running.
So all your guys, all Huber, probably some people from Dayton.
Right, Dayton, Huber, Metro Parks, and Butler.
Chief, with the understanding that this is still an ongoing investigation, what part of the investigation is BCI actually handling?
Pretty much all of it. I mean, we're obviously with an officer involved in the shooting part of it. We want them to be we want to be as transparent as possible in regard to that. So we pretty much turned over the whole thing to them.
It's our understanding also that one of your officers with 24 years of experience was one of the officers that fired or returned fire.
Right, we have the slide right there shows you that Sergeant James Vance. He was been working in Riverside since 1997. He's been the Midnight Watch supervisor. He's been a detective. He's been a field training officer, evidence tech. He's done a lot of things in the department. He has a lot of experience. So, and yes, he has been put on paid administrative leave at this point.
And Chief, I say this out of respect for not only the citizens of Riverside, but all individuals concerned about law enforcement. How is your officer handling this, and how long will he be under departmental, I don't want to call it a suspension, but...
Well, obviously, protocol dictates what we're going to do with him is in reference to his mental health and making sure that he's okay to come back to work. And obviously, we're going to do everything we can for his wellness, and we'll be sending him to speak with someone with the critical incident team of some sort.
Chief, you know, I know that BCI is handling investigation now, so you're somewhat limited on what you can say, but from what you've seen of all the cruise cam videos and evidence that you've seen come across your desk, you believe Sergeant Vance acted correctly?
Oh, I 100% think that he acted, responded correctly. I don't think he had any other choice in the matter of what he did, and we're thankful that he did not get hurt in the incident. And you know, it's a very, the incident happened, unfolded really quickly, and he reacted very quickly, and I think it saved his life and other people's lives as well.
That woman was still standing pretty close to him when Mr. Wallace opened fire.
He pretty much pushed her to the side. I don't know if you see that part in there, but he kind of pushes her out of the way to get behind the car as the shooting starts. So, I mean, you never know where that came, where one of those rounds where it came from. I know that Sergeant Vance felt something grazed across his face, and we're not sure if that was some debris that was popped up from the gunfire, but it was we're relatively close. So you can imagine, you know, the feeling of that. I don't really know how long it's going to take. I wouldn't say it would be very long. I mean, with the information that we have and the suspect being deceased.
Chief, out of respect again for your officers involved, do you know how many shots were returned from your department to this individual? That, again, I understand he was not hit by your officers, but how many shots were fired?
I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly. You could hear the gunfire on there, but we're not sure. They collect all the evidence, and I really haven't had a good chance to talk to them in reference to that yet.
And Chief, who dispatches for the city of Riverside?
Huber Heights.
BCI will do all the ballistics testing on all the guns, Officer Vance's, and the
Right.
two that you found on
Yes, sir.
Wallace.
Yes, sir.
Well, the body cams work really well. I mean,
They-
they show
they-
the whole story.
They
How
actually
long have you
do.
had those, Chief? Talk about that a little bit.
We've had the body cams now for, what, 7 years? We were one of the first departments, I think, in this area. We wrote a grant many years ago to get some cameras because we knew that was something that we needed, not because we thought that we needed to be, we just want to be held more accountable and more transparent and those kind of things. So we were kind of on the forefront, I think, in this area, in my opinion, to getting those body cams. And as you can see, they really help on telling the story.
Chief, when was the last time the city of Riverside had an officer-involved shooting?
2 years ago. December 2019, we had an officer-involved shooting.
What about the burglary? Do you guys handle the burglary call yourself, or does BCI kind of handle it?
They're doing it all.
One incident.
Right.
Okay, and just want to take you back. You said you can't, right now, confirm that he's involved in the Springfield home invasion, but you are investigating that as a possibility?
Obviously, that's going to be Springfield's job to do. Obviously, to try to connect those dots. We do, however, feel that it's a good possibility. And so, like I said, there's under investigation at this point. And once they figure it out, I'm sure they'll connect everything together.
Oh, yeah, and a little bit later on, because we understood that he may have taken a vehicle in Springfield, or whoever committed that crime in Springfield, and then Huber spotted that vehicle and tried to stop him, and then the vehicle was abandoned somewhere in Huber, do you believe if Mr. Wallace was involved in that, do you know how he got from there to your house in Riverside?
I do not.
Were they able to tell you did you find any vehicles in the neighborhood that no one claimed?
At this point, no.
No.
Was he connected to the Huber Heights chase that was terminated due to speed?
Once again, that's the connectors they're going to put together that we're not involved in, but I mean it's a possibility, of course.
Will you or will BCI be able to then eventually find out whether he knew? I mean, again, he's using the guy's name, so at least.
I think anyone with common sense is going to put your own assumptions onto that. We'll see how that pans out, but like I said, once again, that's what they're doing right now, and as far as the investigation goes.
Anything else? Good.
A request, is it possible, because I talked to a couple other photographers, to re-rack the video and we can drop the house lights?
Yeah, that'd be great.
So we're not getting the
You guys know
reflection?
too, we're providing you guys with a packet here that has
Oh,
all
we
the
do have that
video.
disc?
that
Oh,
has-
great.
Yeah, we're going to send you home with a disc.
Requested for
It's on the-
personnel files,
it's
it's
on
on
a
disc,
DVD.
it's on DVD.
Oh, okay. Well, then probably don't have to play it again. You got that.
Right.
You
Yeah,
guys
you,
will have all the, and there's actually more than what you've seen here.
Right.
There's other 911 calls too that came through that.
yeah, there was multiple 911
Other
calls.
neighbors
Yes,
calling in.
exactly. There was multiple 911 calls.
The cruiser cam that's from Sergeant Vance is pretty telling too, as far as, it's this view of it, and you can see where she actually takes cover behind him.
I got you.
Yeah, and you can see it, so there's a lot more. We have packets for everybody.
Have you spoken to Wallace's family at all, or has anyone contacted?
I think
family members?
we haven't spoke to his wife, or
BCI.
BCI did.
Office has.
Yeah, that I do not know. I mean, I know he was married, and that the coroner's office and BCI has spoken to the wife.
Chief, I say this again out of respect, not only for your department, but for the citizens of Riverside. Is there anything you want to say to the citizens regarding their safety? I'm sure you would say you would agree with me, the city of Riverside is still and will always remain safe.
Well, obviously, we every day we try to promote safety for the city. I think that the police department does a fantastic job at what we do. I hope that the citizens in Riverside feel safe with the officers that we have here and the things that we accomplish on a daily basis. This is one other incident that just goes to show you how well trained our officers are and how they handle these kind of situations are very traumatic, and it happened really quickly and he responded really quickly. So that's a testament to his training and what the department does. Can I also say one last thing? I just want to make sure I say thank you to the agencies that did respond. Dayton, Huber, and Butler Metro Parks, and of course BCI handling this investigation. I just want to say thank you to all those folks who are coming out and giving us a hand. We appreciate that.